So in this video we're going to talk today about strengthening and conditioning of the gluteus maximus muscle, which is the large buttock muscle. We're just going to position John correctly. He's lying on the floor, if you imagine that. He's got two pillows. He really only needs one pillow here. And in fact some of you may need no pillows, but at the moment for John that looks like one pillow is good enough. Now if we bend your knees up to about 90 degrees, when we get them in that position, we then position them just shoulder width apart. Now the next stage I'm going to need you to imagine is there's an imaginary wall here that you're up against. And what John is doing is you're putting your feet so that your toes are bending up and they're against this imaginary wall. Okay? So we're like that and like that. This enables us to contract the quads and these glute muscles at the back there. Further positioning, what people often do is they flatten their tummy, they put what we call a tummy tuck in, and they flatten their lumbar spine into the floor when they're lying there. That's not a good idea. So you need to just maintain that arch just underneath there, and if you slide your hand in, John, you should be able to feel that arch, and I want you to rest. I want you just to maintain that arch of your back just a bit above your hand, so it's in contact with your hand, not high arch over it, but not flattening your hand into the floor. Okay, so we're in that position there. Other hand goes on your abs. This is so that you can feel and monitor the tension in your abs whilst doing this exercise. Okay, so the difficult part now is learning how to engage those gluteus maximus muscles. I say they're the ones either side of your buttock. What John has to imagine doing now, he has to imagine that there's a £50 note between his buttocks, and that I'm trying to steal that £50 note from him. So he's clenching his buttocks as tight as he can. When we say as tight as you can, for a comfortable tension there. You're tensing those, and you can feel, as I press into there, I can feel those muscles tense there nicely. So the difficult thing now is this bit of you, this torso here, this lower torso abdominal area, has to come as one unit up to about this level here. So we're pushing our weight down through our heels and firing away with the buttock muscles. So it's these muscles that are pushing the front of your pelvis up towards the ceiling. And you have to visualize that it's your buttock muscles that are doing it, not these muscles, not your abdominal muscles. You're not tilting your pelvis as you're lifting. Everything here comes as one unit. So John, if you could just try doing that for me, keeping those as tense as you can. That's brilliant, that's good. And now we're just lifting up, and we're coming up towards the sky. Okay, that's good. And we get to that position there. Now that can come away, this hand underneath there, because what we need to do now is John needs to feel his buttock muscles, and he needs to prod them to see how hard they are, to keep engaging them. Have you got your hand on your glutes, John? Yeah. So you need to monitor there, and what I need you also then to do is you need to visualise these hamstrings turning to jelly. And this one is very tense. If you just let that one relax a bit more, and the glutes come on. Okay, good. Nice and relaxed. Okay. So from this position here, we've got these glute muscles fired off really, really hard. Now John is going to take his weight on this leg, and he's going to straighten this leg out. Okay. And he's going to hold that leg there for a count of 3, 2, 1, and down. Okay. And then you might like to drop down to rest. This is very hard work, this muscle exercise. And it's important, I think, to come back to rest in the middle, because what you can often end up doing is using the wrong muscles because you're starting fatigue and you're starting to tire and you've got too many things to think about. So come back to this zero position, get your lumbar spine position properly again, and then we go and we'll try it on the other leg. So so what you're doing is you're tensing your glute muscles, you're stopping me from stealing that £50 note. They're tense, but you're putting a bit of a pelvic tuck in there, John. Back to there, that's good, that's great. Tensing your glute muscles in, great. Now again, these glute muscles, they're firing off, they're pushing your pelvis up towards the ceiling, and that's coming up brilliantly, brilliant, good. And John's feeling his own buttock muscles, he's wanting to feel tight, hard muscle underneath his fingers, and then with the other hand, or with the same hand, That's good. And now he's firing that out, feeling the tight glute muscles, which are tighter on this side. It's keeping his pelvis nice and flat, it's not dipping, and he's not dropping down. When you start dipping and dropping, that's again time to rest and come back to zero again, which is done there. Now, I've shown you the whole exercise. What I want you have to really be important that you stop at the point that your osteopath had told you to stop at whatever stage it was that they took you to. Okay? So when you do this one, the things that you can do wrong are, as we say, having your feet too close together and firing off, having them too far apart, or your feet being at this sort of position here. That's no good either. You will have this wall here, which will be helping you when you're firing off and you're pushing into it. So you're sort of pushing down with that, and then you're firing away. Okay, that's good. That helps engage those buttock muscles just a bit better. And then resting down. The other thing that people commonly do, if you've been shown to go on to stage 3 or 4, is, if you could just lift up for me, John. So firing off, those glutes nice and on tension, this leg is straight out, this one's straight out, we're taking the weight on here, we're not pushing down through our elbows, and we're keeping this pelvis straight. What people sometimes do is that starts dropping down south that way, and then we come back up, or you just start holding on for so long that you just start folding in the middle because you're just getting weaker. You're wasting your time. So drop it back down and restart at the beginning. Okay.